All right, so I am out for training today, and I'm sorry I can't be there, but I hope you're having a good day. Um, what you'll need for this is your reflection journal that has your notes in it. So if you don't have that, go ahead and pause the video and go get your reflective journal with your notes. Um, just as a reminder, your notes look like this, right? And we've gotten to number 12, so that is where you should be. So go ahead and pause the video, go get them, and make sure you have everything needed for the rest of the video. Okay, so these are the fossil on the left is from about a million years ago. It's a swift fox, and the one on your right is a modern day fox, modern kit fox. So go ahead and take a minute, see what you notice about each of those, how they're similar or how they might be slightly different, and just kind of make a mental note. All right, so what I hope you notice is the teeth structure is very similar. The eye cavities back near the skull, the back side of the skull, the structures look very similar, the lobes. You can also see the nasal passages are very similar, and just the structure of the skull itself is very similar. So scientists will look at fossils and look for patterns and see how those fossils are similar and kind of come up with a timeline of how that animal has changed and evolved over time. So you can see some other similarities between the skulls that are shown below. Again, their nasal passages are up near where the snout is. The structure of the skull is similar, although there are some slight differences among them. Again, we see the eye cavities are similar, or the progression of it. And again, the base of the skull, we see some similarities there. All right, so by looking at these fossil comparisons, just like scientists, they look for ways or patterns that they might be similar and how they're related to one another. And so if you go to your notes on number 12, it asks you what a common ancestor is. And a common ancestor is an ancestor that two species might have in common. Okay, so if you look, the swift fox are related to each other, or that they are the modern swift fox is a descendant of the swift fox from over a million years ago, and we see that progression of evolution or those changes that happen in that species. So over on the right hand of your screen, you see that little kind of tree looking thing, that upside down tree looking thing. And so you can see number 2 and number 3 share a common ancestor, which is number 1. So they are both descendants from that original species, number 1. You can also see that number 4 and number 5 have a common ancestor in number 2. So that's kind of how you read that branching diagram. Okay. We can also see that number 5 and number 6 have a common ancestor when we go far enough up the tree and see that they can originate from organism number 1. So even though they've evolved differently, they might still have some similarities because they have a common ancestor. And that's what a scientist will do, is they'll look for those similarities in the fossils, in the fossil record, the totality of the fossils, and see similarities and how those link together to show evolution of an organism. So that's why fossils are important. Again, a common ancestor is two individuals in which they share share an ancestor. All right, so this is number 13 in your notes. Living or once living things share common ancestors, and fossils provide evidence for common ancestry. Again, just like we talked about, looking at fossils provide those links between organisms for similarities. Physical characteristics of organisms change over time, and fossils provide evidence of that change. again, by looking at those similarities in the fossils, they can see how an organism might evolve and change and adapt to its surroundings. Living or once living things share common ancestors, and fossils provide provide evidence for common ancestry. So here we see some similarities again in fossils. And you can kind of see almost how the modern turtles are very similar to the reptiles and dinosaurs and birds. But there also seems to be some similarities between mammals and their ancestors, especially when you look at the teeth structure. We know that they have eye cavities, so they must share a common ancestor far enough back for the evolution of the eye, for the nostrils, for even the structure of the skull. We see all those different skull plates and how that bone is formed. So again, some similarities in the fossil record that might give us some links and identify common ancestry. So physical characteristics of organisms change over time, and fossils provide evidence of the change. So this is number 14 of your notes. Okay, and here on the right, we see the evolution of a horse. And so you can see where it started, probably millions of years ago. We have the first relative of the horse, or the first common ancestor, and it was 1/2 meter tall, so about 1.5 feet. And then we see that evolution moving up to more modern horses that are about 5 feet for the modern horse. So we see first the growth, the change in size of the horse, or the evolution of the horse. Then next to it, we see its 4 feet, which are the structure of the front feet. And here we see the bone structure. So the first common ancestor of the horse had 5 bones down there on the bottom. We see 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then the next, not generation, but the next period of time, geologic time, we see another evolution of the horse to have 3 bone structures down there at the bottom. Then on the third ancestor of the horse, we see that those bone structures are getting smaller. And then they move up, those bone structures move to a different location, and start to kind of see that evolution to the modern day horse. We also see on the far right the teeth structure, and see that evolution happening there, which I think is a little bit easier to see than the bone structure. So we see how that structure has changed to adapt to the type of food that they might be eating, and the availability of food. All right, so that's it for your notes today. What you're going to do next is you have an article to read, which is linked in It's Learning, and you'll find it there. And then you're going to do part 1 of the Making Connections sheet. So you'll need to get that from the front, and then you'll need a computer to read the article. And then you might want to share as you read. And you can work with a partner to complete that activity. Okay, that will be collected at the end of class today, so make sure that you complete part 1, and I'll look over it and get it back to you in the next day.